Today's show we have Angela Minelli, a holistic health counselor and the founder of Wellness with Angela. Her mission is to make a positive difference in people's health through the education of whole food nutrition and balancing lifestyle choices. With these tools, we're going to help you create a well-balanced life. We're going to show you how to awaken your shift. Angela, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you? Good,
good. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you got started doing what you do.
Well, it's interesting. I have an over 20-year corporate background and got pretty burned out in that setting. Just realized I was kind of living my life backward, not really in alignment with my life's purpose or my soul's purpose, why I'm actually here and why I exist. But we all go through that, we all go through our own, down our own path for a reason. And kind of hit a wall, physically, mentally, emotionally, hit a wall, got very, very drained, and had to course correct, had to find a different way of living because I was really pretty burned out and knew I couldn't go on. So I actually set a very strong intention that I wanted to figure out, what I was supposed to be doing with my life. And it came in very quickly because I had that burning desire that they talk about, and it came in really, really quickly. And actually found my school, Integrative Nutrition in New York City, became certified as a health coach, and that just set me on a whole different course in my life.
Nice.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. It was one of those things where, every time I was going out there for the classes, I felt like the angels were singing, overhead, like that kind of thing.
Right. Really woke up inside, really got something
big time
pushing you.
Absolutely compelled. I mean, there was just almost to the point where I felt like I didn't have a choice about whether I was going to stay in my job or not. I just had to leave. Something was compelling me to go out there and do what I do. And that was in March of 2009 during one of the worst economies since the Great Depression. Yeah. And I thought, this is a great time to leave and go start an online business. So
great opportunity to thrive, right?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like I was like this crazy wackadoodle, but I just knew deep down that this was what I was meant to do, and somehow I had to go make it happen.
Followed your gut.
I did. I followed that instinct,
so
and it has not steered me wrong.
Before you got into doing your educational background with this, what exactly was the rock bottom, the core foundation to make you hit rock bottom? For you.
Actually, it was an experience I had about 6 years ago that was life-threatening. It was a life-threatening situation. It was due to a drug interaction, prescription medications.
Okay.
And unfortunately, the physician that I was working with was pretty careless with administering these drugs to me. They were pretty heavy-duty psychotropic drugs, and sent me on a complete downward spiral. And I didn't think I was going to make it.
Oh, wow.
I didn't think I was going to live through that. But I did. And honestly, to be sitting here talking to you today is amazing to me, because I really didn't believe I was going to live.
Right. But
I did. And when I came out of that, got back on track, I quickly found holistic health. It was within a few months after. And I just took to it like that so fast. I couldn't get enough of it. I just started devouring it. And I was still in my job. And while I was still working in all my spare time, I would just read as much as I could and try and learn as much as I could. And as the years waned on, and I started to get to a point where, I was at a crossroads, I didn't know what to do, I asked to be shown, what could I do with my life that I would just love doing, that would really make me happy every day. And it was like a no-brainer. Like this is what you love to do. And the school I attended showed me how to make it into a career for myself.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you went to New York and you started studying. What was the name of the place?
The name of the school is the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. Integrative Nutrition.
Nice.
Is the name of it. Yeah.
Awesome. So you learned a lot of good stuff there, I imagine. And that really put you on a level where you feel that you can, you felt that you can get out here and really to help other people and yourself as well more.
Yes.
How has that impacted your personal life besides what you've done with other people, your clients?
Personally, like I said, I knew that my body was worn down when I left my job. I knew that I'd really pushed myself beyond what I could physically handle. So when I first left, I realized that what I had to do, first things first, I realized that what I had to do before anything else, before I could make this career happen, was I had to fix things. I had to restore function to my body. So what I learned through the school enhanced what I already knew, and I applied it to myself. So it teaches you a lot about slowing down. And really learning to listen to your body. And when your body is having cravings for whatever it may be, it's not a time to feel guilty or to punish yourself. It's really a message from your body that's saying, hey, I need something. And my body was saying, we got to slow down. We got to do some restorative work here. I wound up in one of the final stages of adrenal exhaustion.
Okay.
My thyroid was blown out. My hormones were a wreck. Very, very common symptoms.
How does adrenal exhaustion actually come
Adrenal
about?
exhaustion, how does that work? It's stress. Stress is what drives it.
Okay.
Your adrenals are these 3-inch wide glands. They sit on top of your kidneys. They're very small, and they're responsible for producing the stress hormones, the fight or flight hormones, so adrenaline and cortisol.
Okay.
So whenever you're stressed out, whether it's a traffic jam or an irate boss or it's a real life-threatening situation like a saber-toothed tiger chasing you,
Right.
your mind doesn't know the difference as to whether it's a real life-threatening situation. It just knows we've got stress, we've got to save this person's life. So it pumps out cortisol into your system. Well, you can only imagine. I mean, people are under this kind of stress 24/7.
Yeah.
All day, every day. So you're constantly producing this cortisol. It's constantly, wearing out your adrenal glands, and ultimately that just throws off your whole endocrine system. So it affects thyroid. Your thyroid's part of your endocrine system. Your endocrine system runs off hormones, so your hormones are naturally out of whack as well. And some of the signs of adrenal exhaustion, you kind of get that tired but wired feeling, like you're so tired you want to go to sleep at night, but you can't.
Right, so you're like tossing and turning. And
yeah, you might sleep for a few hours, but then you're just like up.
Feeling fatigue.
Yeah, oh yeah. Low energy, cravings, salt cravings, sweet cravings are a big sign. One of the number one signs of it is constipation.
Okay, because your body's just trying to do anything it can to bring balance back into it.
Yeah.
Well,
oh
right?
yeah. That's a good point. I mean, no matter what, your body's always looking for that balance, always looking for homeostasis. So that's why you produce cravings.
Right.
Is because your body wants to balance itself out, and when it needs something, it's going to produce a craving.
Now, does the adrenal exhaustion happen, say, if someone overly works themselves through a workout, through exercising, maybe not eating enough or eating too much?
Absolutely, yeah. Especially if you're eating an unbalanced diet, that will that will create a lot of stress on your adrenal glands. If a sugar rush, if you're eating too much sugar, excess sugar consumption, will create a lot of stress in your body.
Okay.
You've got 3 kinds of stress. You've got emotional, you've got mechanical, and you've got nutritional, chemical stress. So mechanical stress is like a pinched nerve or like surgery. Emotional is like a death, maybe loss of a job. Nutritional is your body's not getting the nutrients it needs to function. That's the number one stress that your body feels.
They're causing not only an imbalance, if you will, but a block in your energy field as well.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
So now with the adrenal exhaustion, what are ways to balance that out?
Ways to balance that out, have to either eliminate or effectively manage your stress. You just have to. You can go through the whole process of healing your adrenal glands, but if you don't know how to handle stress or manage stress, it's going to come right back.
Right.
So that's one thing. Reducing sugar. Getting adequate sleep. Have to get sleep. Your cortisol levels are in conjunction with your circadian rhythm. So if you're a slow starter in the morning, like I always was for years, my whole life I was.
Kind of dragging out of bed.
Yeah, I couldn't get out of bed. My mom, when I was a child, she'd be like, okay, bedtime's 8 p.m. But I would just lay there at night because I couldn't go to sleep. My cortisol levels were too high. I was actually born with adrenal exhaustion, and you can be.
Okay.
If your mom is stressed out when she's pregnant with you, she'll feed off your adrenal glands in the last trimester, and that's what happened to me. So I never really performed that well as a kid in school. I didn't get the best grades, but I'm smart, but it just didn't show. But if your cortisol levels are too high and too elevated, so they're working in the opposite of your circadian rhythm, you tend to be someone who is most depressed in the morning, and then you come alive throughout the day. Which, when you have healthy functioning adrenals, it's the opposite. Cortisol is what opens your eyes in the morning.
Okay.
Actually opens your eyes in the morning, so you have to have cortisol running through your system.
Right.
You can't not have it. But it's what opens your eyes in the morning and gets you going. And healthy functioning adrenals, you're more elevated in the morning. You get more depressed, not mentally, but your body, the cortisol levels get more depressed throughout the day.
So throughout your day, even from getting up, it either starts low and then gets better, or it starts good and gets lower, and that's if you're out of balance.
Right. Well, the more elevated in the morning and more depressed throughout the day is how you want it to work, because then
that's the natural.
That's
way.
the natural, because then melatonin kicks in at night so that you can sleep.
Okay. Yes.
And that's when you're following your natural circadian rhythm.
So if you have a good balance with eating healthy, you're taking your body out there and giving it what it deserves, exercising it, and you have a good balance in your system, then you're going to get up in the morning, you're going to feel great, and then you're going to go to bed and in a way that you're really ready to go to sleep. You're going to feel it's going to go smoothly for you.
Yeah, you just work in that natural rhythm. It's harder for some of the clients that I work with in my one-on-one practice. It's harder for them if they have like a night job, because then they're kind of like automatically in opposition to that.
Yeah. So in that situation, so if you have someone that has the night shift, is there a way to balance that out? Even though your internal mechanisms, your internal energy, and your force is on a different pattern. So can people get into a trend where or a pattern that if they go to sleep at this time every time, the body will start to balance in that time zone? Is there time? Is this time sensitive? I should say.
It will. Again, it's going against nature.
Right.
So your body knows that, whether you consciously realize it or not. It knows that. But I mean, there are ways to support your body, even if that's the case for you. So there's, I'm not huge on supplements, but I think there are some supplements that can really help. I know licorice root is a good one for adrenal exhaustion. There's some liquid extracts like kelp and dulse are some things that you can use. You want to get adequate rest no matter what you're doing. Your body needs to rest. Adrenals thrive on protein, so you want clean organic proteins in your diet at every meal. That's going to slow the absorption of carbs and sugars. So anytime you're eating carb or sugar, you definitely want some kind of protein with it. You definitely want to eliminate your stress, manage your stress better. So whether you can get rid of something or you have to still live with it, but you want to learn how to manage it better. So breathing techniques and
getting
just setting boundaries. Yeah, learning to say no to things.
And that's really important.
Do it.
A lot of us know we shouldn't.
Yeah.
And we continue to do this.
We're always trying to please people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So many women, especially, they think it's all about everyone else instead of them. And I teach people to make their nutrition first every day, and that's how you really are the best you for everybody.
Right.
That's not selfish. It's just
and you're right, because I know for the longest time I was like, I got to help my clients, I got to help my friends, I got to help my family, and I was always putting me last. And then I realized that I started to go downhill. When you try to do all this stuff, then you start sidetracking other things in your personal life.
Right.
And when that happens, then you're like, I realize that if I don't help myself, how can I help them?
Right.
So it's important that you're right, that we do
Absolutely.
make us, first as far as balancing out, and then we can go and help everybody else.
Yeah,
or do it at the same time.
Coaches.
Exactly.
We gotta, we have to set that example.
That's very true.
Yeah. We tend to think, we tend to think as human beings, like, oh, I don't have time to take care of myself. That's only going to last so long.
And I'm sure you've heard it too.
You're going to pay the price.
I would like to hear your opinion on this as well. I get some clients that come to me and say they don't have the time, like you were saying. And sometimes I'll say to them, I say, well, you don't have the time. I said, that's okay. I understand you think that way. I said, but your son or your daughter picks up an extra soccer or basketball game, right? Or volleyball game.
Right.
Now all of a sudden you have this 45-minute window that you just made happen. You wanted them to have what they wanted, and you made it happen, but you were telling me you didn't have enough time, but you find a way. And moms always know how to make time.
Right.
They always know how to find time to make everything happen. I don't know how they do it.
I know.
Women have a really great way of doing that. I think you guys manage your time better than men do. You know,
I'd have to agree a little bit with that.
Definitely, yeah, I would say that. Same with emotions. Emotions, you guys know how to manage that as well.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and that's why I think men, we need to really learn and learn how to get in touch with that.
They say women are the Velcro of the universe. We hold it all together.
I believe that. Yes, I believe that. So
Yeah.
it's funny that you when you're dealing with clients, what do you say to someone that maybe says, I don't have time, or I don't have time to even eat this way, or change this, or make these small shifts?
It really doesn't require too much time to do it, but there are ways that you can streamline your life. Mm-hmm. Myself, ways that I do it is pre-planning is just number one. When it comes to my meals, I mean, I pre-plan my meals so that I know. Important. Yeah, so that when the day comes, I'm not like, well, what am I going to eat? I just make sure that I have what I need every day. One of the ways I do it is through a personal chef. And they're so common and so mainstream nowadays. It's not like it's like having a butler where it's so hoity-toity. It's
right.
You could just post on Craigslist that you want to hire any kind of chef. If you need to be gluten-free or raw food or vegetarian, whatever, just post it. Maybe pay them $50 a week to make a few recipes for you.
Right.
That's a really quick, easy way. Mm-hmm. And so many people will say, "Oh, I can't afford it. I don't want to spend the money." It's not that much money. Mm-hmm. If you look at ways that you can, where are you spending your money? Is it on Starbucks? Is it on eating out 3 times a week? That's your money to pay for your chef and the good quality food.
Yeah.
It's ironic to me, so many people are willing to spend $200 for a pair of, shoes for their kids, but they don't want to spend 85 cents on an organic apple.
Yeah, or they're paying for the high cable bill.
Right, and the food is what you're putting in your body. Mm-hmm. It makes you.
We need to make it an investment.
You are. Yeah, it's so worth the investment. That's where I spend my money. Spend that on that rather than health insurance.
Now, say someone is out there right now and they're like, well, before I try the chef thing, what's a good starter thing that you could say to them to plan their meals out? To say, because that's important.
I would say this is the best thing that I would say to somebody is take a couple hours on the weekend, whenever you can find it, and just do some batch cooking. Mm-hmm. So you can do, you can make up a whole pot of quinoa. Mm-hmm. That's the one that no one can really pronounce. It's Quinoa.
I'm not even going to attempt it.
Yeah, it's a whole grain. It's a gluten-free whole grain. Has like a nutty taste to it. I love it. It's so good. It's a complete protein too. So you get fiber, you get protein, you get all 9 essential amino acids with quinoa. So it's a superfood. Brown rice is another good grain. You can just do like a batch of that, batch of quinoa. You can bake some fish, bake some chicken, and you always want to overcook, so make enough for like 2 or 3 meals.
Leftovers.
Yeah, and then you just portion it out. When you go to the grocery store, you can, if you're buying meat, you can have like the butcher like put maybe say 2 fillets, in a package, and you keep that out, and then when you actually, put it in the freezer. When you get home and freeze it, you only freeze, so much of it, and then you keep so much out, and then you make it right away.
Okay.
Because like they'll have deals and specials and things like that. So you can buy a lot at once and then freeze it. You can freeze whole grains too. Mm-hmm. You can do that. People don't even realize that you can do that. It doesn't take that long though, even if you're in a pinch, to bake up like a piece of chicken or a piece of fish. Mm-hmm. Throw some vegetables on in a pan and steam them, and then quinoa takes maybe 10 minutes to cook.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take that long. It doesn't require a whole lot of effort.
Sounds like you can obviously have fun doing this.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, totally.
Put together your stuff. And what sounds good about that as well is because I know there's been times where I've been cranking all day helping clients or doing the things that I do, and then I come home and I'm like, I'm hungry now.
Right.
And I realized that first of all, then you want to reach for things. So in my house, I try to keep everything as healthy as possible. That way, if I do have to reach for something, at least it's not going for like a donut or a Twinkie or something. It's going for like broccoli or cauliflower.
Right, yeah.
So it's like, so I just have a lot of fun when I come home and I do start to get hungry. Cooking to me helps me because as I'm cooking, you grab a little bit. You can eat, if you're chopping up, salad or carrots and stuff like that, you can eat a little as you go.
Oh, right, yeah.
So it is a lot of fun to prepare, and I'm glad that you have that. You can see the passion in you for making these things. You've made it a way of life. This is your quality. So
just connecting with the food too.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this is what nourishes your body. It's what makes your hair, your skin, your nails, everything. That's what makes you, you know, is the food that you're putting in your body. So, you know, think of it in those terms, you know, and
I always think that, like, when I go to the refrigerator, if it's like, you know, a certain time of the day and like I said, I'm hungry or something, for one, I'll go inward. And I always tell people, I said, when you think with your mind, our mind is somewhat endless and toxic when it comes to food.
Yeah.
We can think, oh, I want this, I want that, that tastes good, great, right? But if you think and you turn inward, like you were explaining earlier, if we turn inward and be aware of what our body's telling us, the body knows what it wants. It's not going to say, oh, I need this and that. It's going to say, I need that. You know, this has more energy in it. You know, eat the water-rich live food. You know?
Right.
So that's really, it's really important to turn inward.
Yeah, your body will always tell you.